Welcome to this lesson on storage accounts. In Azure, a storage account is required when we work with blob data, but it also provides many other services. Another prominent service of storage account is Azure File Shares. Other services which are not part of this course but still part of storage account are storage queues, storage tables, and data lake. When we are looking for a data lake, we are indeed looking at a storage account. We can toggle the data lake functionality on with a click of a button. Let's focus more on blobs and files because these are relevant for the exam. In Azure, we have three blobs. We have block blobs, append blobs, and page blobs. The block blob is kind of general purpose. The append blob and page blob is suitable for special situations. Append blobs are suitable for log file data. Page blobs are suitable for storing disks such as VHD files. With Azure File Shares, we can easily share data between multiple VMs and containers. This is ideal when we have stateful workloads. File shares are a core feature of Azure and are very cost effective. In GCP and AWS, we also have file share service, but they are more expensive to get started. How do we access all of these storage account services? The main software we can use is a program called Storage Explorer, which is a separate software that we download. There's also a web version of Storage Explorer that we can access directly from the resource plate of our storage account. Of course, we can also access data via CLI, PowerShell or REST API, but Storage Explorer was specifically designed for that use case. Storage accounts come in various kinds, performance tiers and access tiers. The performance tier determines to which storage cluster our storage account is allocated. This is why we cannot change the performance tier after creation. In standard performance tier, our data is stored on a magnetic storage cluster. In premium performance tier, our data is stored on a modern SSD storage cluster. When we choose Premium, we have supreme performance, but we sacrifice some other functionality. For instance, we lose the ability to replicate to a paired region. The access tier setting only denotes the default access tier and is only relevant for the blob service. In the cool tier, we would still have immediate retrieval times like in the hot tier, but higher access charges and a minimum retention period of 30 days. In the archive tier, we have higher retrieval times measured in several hours and a minimum retention period of 180 days. Note that in Azure we can change data back from the archive tier to the cool or hot tier. To make things a bit more complicated, we also have different storage account types. Most likely we will use a general purpose V2 storage account type. The general purpose V2 tier will give us the lowest per gigabyte cost and support all access tiers. Note that general purpose V1 does not support access tiers. When we create a storage account, we also have to choose a storage redundancy option. Zonal redundant storage synchronously replicates our data between zones and will guard us against a data center failure. Geo-redundant storage asynchronously replicates our data to the paired region and will guard us against a regional failure. Various other options exist in between. For instance, when we choose geo-redundant storage, we can also choose whether we need read access in the paired region or not. To clean things up a bit, here's an overview of the various parameters of storage accounts we have just discussed. Note that not all options are valid options. For instance, when we have a general purpose V2 account, we cannot choose premium storage together with geographically redundant storage at the same time. Some final remarks on this lesson. I know this is a tough one. In fact, in Azure this topic is a bit more complex than in AWS and GCP. I recommend you to go through the slides over again. Remember from the introduction, we can break down most problems with time and discipline. Okay, so that's it for our lesson on storage accounts. See you in the next one. Bye bye.